Welcome to In Alignment. I'm Annie.
And I'm Marissa. You were meant to find this today, and we're so glad you're here.
Welcome to In Alignment. We are going to do a short little episode today on Marissa and I's current workout routines. It's summer, there's more travel, we're super busy with work. So it's interesting. I think Marissa and I have like a little bit of different approaches to fitness right now. We're both into different things. So excited to dive into this and hopefully it will be inspiring. And we're always curious what other people's go-to workouts are. So share it in the comments and let us know what you're doing. Do you want to start out with what you're currently up to in the workout space?
So, this has been an interesting few months because I have always been, when I say always, for the last 5 years, I've really only done Pilates, yoga, and working out with a few years doing solid core. But a few things have really interrupted that routine. One is we're starting a company and solid core and Pilates are extremely expensive. And the second is I'm no longer living in one consistent place. So I need something that I can do when I move around without having to stress or worry. And actually, I know I said two things, but the third thing is, we're going through a lot of stuff right now. Both of us, in our personal lives, like breakups, moving, starting a business. And I've been okay, I need to feel really, really good. Feeling good is my imperative and the entire motivation behind me working out, which we can talk about later, but hasn't always been, I feel the case. And so I have gotten really into strength training lately. And I know that everyone says women should strength train. And I kind of thought in my mind, Pilates and specifically solid core really checks that box. And I think it does. But there is something that is really helping me about actually lifting weights in a gym. It is making me mentally feel very powerful. I think I've always been a little bit afraid to do that. And so, yeah, I've been lifting weights in the gym and going for long walks outside, which I've always done. But between those two things, I've really never felt stronger.
How did you get into lifting? How did you even know where to start?
Yeah. So one of the reasons that I've never really lifted before is because it's overwhelming. I hate being in a gym and not knowing how to use a machine and seeing other people on it and not, or waiting for it and being I don't belong here. I don't know how to use this. I'm gonna embarrass myself. I don't even know how to build an effective workout. I don't know. I like someone just telling me what to do. Enter ChatGPT. I can't afford a personal trainer right now. Personal trainers are amazing. They give you form feedback, they customize it to you. But without that option, explaining to ChatGPT my goals, my experience, I can take pictures of what gym I'm in. And it's, I'm already paying for it. So it's been giving me day by day workouts, including rest days, breaking everything down, telling me how to use the machines, showing me pictures of people perform. And that has allowed me to feel like I'm following a plan as opposed to just winging it and figuring it out. Which, I know after I did that, you also created a ChatGPT strength training plan. Do you like yours?
I do. Okay, I'll be honest though, it is hard. Strength training is it's not comfortable. And I think that for me going to the Pilates, I'm a member of the Equinox and I go to the classes there and the bar classes, the Pilates classes, the sculpt classes. I don't mean this in they're easier. They're 5 to 3 pound weights. So it's less intimidating. And I notice with strength training, I feel so much better after, but it's really hard when you're in the gym to lift a 30-pound weight. It's uncomfortable. That's why I give you so much credit because you're not doing it with a trainer. You're not doing it in a class. It is literally you and ChatGPT in a gym and you follow through with it and do it day after day after day. And I think that there is a really good feeling about being so consistent and feeling proud of yourself for that. But yeah, I have not been as consistent with it as you are because I think it's so hard. And I also have this thing I'm going through, as both of us are, we're starting a business. Both of us went through breakups. We're in a lot of transition. It's the summer. We're traveling a bunch. When life is more uncomfortable in other areas, I actually lean more into comfort in stuff like working out. I opt for walking or familiarity or cozy workout classes. And I feel you're the opposite. You lean into and my mom's like this too. We are talking about this last night, but you lean into things that are hard and push you to challenge yourself personally. I think that's
Yeah.
really interesting.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that when you were explaining when you were saying that it was hard. is I really like the fact that it's hard and challenging me, and when I do it, I feel this like, "Wow, I did that. I feel strong. I can do anything." And so, I think when you're going through a hard time, or even if you're not, don't like it's not about forcing yourself to do something hard. I think it's about like what makes me feel better. And we've talked a lot about everything in our lives. It's like figuring out what works for us about where we're the place that we're in. And I think obviously working out is no different. It's like, what is your motivation for working out? If you're working out because you hate yourself and you think being more in shape is going to make you happier, you're never going to be happy. That's not a good mindset to bring into a workout. But if a workout makes you feel really good, really strong, like, okay, let's take Sunday night. I had been out with my friends all weekend. The Knicks game in New York was Saturday. I didn't get a lot of sleep. Thank God I didn't drink because otherwise I would have felt horrible. But Sunday night, I started getting like, that lonely feeling that after being with friends all weekend. And I knew that if I got myself to the gym and lifted weights and went for a walk outside would feel better. And so pushing myself to do that, doing it, it was definitely not my best workout because you need to be super well rested. But just like doing something hard it totally, like, changed my mood around, and I feel like for you, like, doing something that feels really nurturing for you in a workout, like, gives you the same end result, which is feeling better, and that's, like, what we're optimizing for overall.
100%. Yeah. I also like, not moving, I can't imagine how bad that would feel. Like, I always think it's, like, figure out what works for you, and things can work for you for a season, for a month, for, whatever it may be, but it's, like, whatever, figure out what feels good to you, as you're saying, and, like, do that. Like, lean, because after you move, you always feel better.
Yes,
Always.
and I think 2 things that make you always feel better, keeping your promises to yourself and movement, and I think these 2 can be intertwined because for me, one of my promises to myself is, like, I'm gonna move my body every day in some way. Even if that's like, not even if it's a walk. I think a walk is, like, one of the best, like, forms of exercise, mental health. It is therapy. It has, like, saved our lives, and I actually wanna explain like, in a second how I got into walking and how it changed my life and, like, literally my mental health. But, yeah, I think if you commit to yourself, "I'm gonna take care of myself by getting some movement every day," and you stick to that and you do it, it's, like, incredible how just that alone can massively impact how we feel about ourselves, like, moment to moment and over time. And, I mean, your average step count for last month was 20,000 steps a day?
So much. Like, walking is the literal best feeling in the world. Like, if I'm in the worst mood and I just go for a walk, especially if it's in nature, it is transformative. Like, it is. And I also think, like, we talk a lot about, we are an emotional health company. Like, emotions are energy in motion. So, if you feel things, one of the best ways to move through something in your life, whether it's like a season or an experience or heartbreak or a difficult time or a transition, there are so many feelings that you have to move through in body work, like massage, acupuncture, lifting weights, running, like cardio, long walks. All of that literally help you feel and move that energy through you. Like, think about walking as like an emotional detox. It's like a shower for your nervous system. And it literally, like, moves the energy through and out your body. And also acupuncture is an amazing one too, but all of these forms connected, they just help you, like, emotionally detox and cleanse, and you can feel that effect after a walk.
And I think that's why knowing, like, kind of almost what mood you're in and how you're feeling, picking the workout to match that. So this is kind of funny, but I'm not a runner, and after we actually just interviewed my acupuncturist for the podcast, and he doesn't think running is great in general because it's like your cortisol, and he explains it really well, but I'm not a runner, it doesn't make me feel good. I don't ever really and I never enjoy it. Like, I never hit a point in a run where I'm like, "I enjoy this." But if I am super sad, almost like the angry kind of sad where it's like you just wanna cry and scream and, like, throw a fit, running is the best. Like, I will run and cry at the same time. I apologize to the anyone who's ever seen me do that, and it is therapeutic, and it's for exactly the reason you said. It's like that's the expression that's needed to get that out. Like, I also have had that experience, like, boxing, like, sometimes you need something that's a little bit more, like, like has more force behind it. And so in those moods, I'll pick a different workout. Or other times, like yoga is a somatic workout. Like the yoga was not created to be a workout. Yoga was created forever ago. And it's like it's essentially like an Eastern medicine practice, but yoga also is such a good way to move stuck emotions, especially not necessarily even your current emotions, but past emotions that are stored in your hips, in your neck, in your shoulders. So I try to keep yoga like part of my routine. Like on my rest days, I'll sometimes do even like a yin yoga, something really gentle to as part of like emotional hygiene rather than thinking I'm doing something for like my muscles or my calorie burn. Like it's actually for me much more of a mental health practice than it is a physical health practice. Not to say that yoga workouts can't be extremely hard, and especially in the US, like we've turned them into fitness classes and workouts, but doing like at home yoga moves, intuitive yoga, like letting your body decide what positions it wants to go into, that is like therapy for me as well. I don't know. Do you do any yoga or is that not really your thing?
Quick break before we get back into the episode. If you've ever felt like you've done everything you're supposed to do and you still feel stuck, this is for you. Maybe you've tried the supplements, the protocols, the therapy, the books, the podcasts, the self development work. And while some of it's helped, something still feels unresolved because there's a layer of your health and your life that those things often don't touch. The same pattern shaping your stress, your relationships, your career, your symptoms, and the way you move through the world are way more connected than you think. That's why we build Shift. The Shift method helps women identify the patterns keeping them stuck, work with their nervous system to create lasting change from the inside out. Our one on one coaching practice is now open. If you're ready to stop managing symptoms and start getting to the root of what's keeping you stuck, you can book a free consultation through the link in our show notes. And this fall, we're launching the Shift membership, a place to practice the Shift method alongside a community of women doing the exact same work. Together, we'll explore the areas of your life where women get stuck the most often: relationships, career, health, anxiety, purpose, rest, and more, and build the tools to create real, lasting transformation. Join the waitlist today to lock in founder member pricing for life. Now back to the episode. You kind of just reminded me of it. I love yoga, but like good hot yoga. It feels so good and it's so hard. Like the way it gets your back and your arms and all the push-ups in it. Uh, I want to get into it more. That's another thing though, is like I like the authentic hot yoga, like really good. We actually should go. There's a good place near my house. Like really good authentic yoga, like core power yoga doesn't do it for me. Like I feel like if I'm doing yoga, I want it to be like either really deep stretching or really relaxing class or like a hard hot yoga, like an authentic yoga. But I'm not like yoga and weights doesn't do it for me. It's like if I'm doing yoga, I want to do yoga.
I'm
And I
this
find I like doing it in the heat. So like I find it hard to do alone, but, it is so good for you, and that's the other thing too is, like, emotions are stored, like, I think it was your acupuncturist that was talking about this, but, like, a lot of women store, emotion in their hips, like, sexual trauma in their hips. I forget some of the other ones that he mentioned, but, like, we carry a lot in our neck and in our shoulders and, like, always being in this brace state, so yoga almost, like, helps stretch and detoxify, like, those twists, like, if you're in a running lunge twist or a chair twist, those are so detoxifying. They like open up that fascia and release that clogged, stuck emotion. It's a really good one, actually.
100%. And also sometimes I do because you can do some yoga places like poses, sorry, anywhere you go. Like I'll find myself doing like very subtle things, like even on a long flight, or if I'm sitting in a chair for too long, like doing certain twists, or like putting one like sort of like a figure four stretch, which you can do sitting in a chair, things like that. Like yeah, just doing those a lot, I've noticed a big difference because I carry my main source of when I'm really stressed, it's my neck, shoulders, and my hips get super tight. Cause like, yeah, there's a lot of emotional stuff going on in the hips. And so if I'm like, yeah, going through something romantic or whatever, I will feel that in my hips. If I'm going through financial stress or career stress, I'll feel that more like in my neck and shoulders. And it's so interesting that I'm saying this because this is like part of the body awareness and being more connected to my body that I just did not have 10 years ago. Like 10 years ago, I was waking up early, forcing myself to go to Soul Cycle, even though I never liked it, forcing myself to, everything was like forced punishment. I had horrible, like like, even though I was so young, I've always had this neck and shoulder thing, so I've always carried tension there, and it never occurred to me that it could in any way be related to, like, the way that I was living my life or talking to myself. It was just like, "Oh, my neck and shoulders are tight. It's probably 'cause I'm working out a lot and, like, carrying a bag on my shoulder," which do impact that, obviously, but now it's like, "Oh, I can actually feel what parts of my body react to different types of stress. I can feel how it gets stored over time." And my reaction now in my approach to fitness and movement is like, how can I work with my body based on what it's telling me and what it needs and what it wants and what feels good, and really like tune into that instead of how can I force my body to be a certain size, shape, burning a certain number of calories a day. Like it's just such a different mindset and the results in every way, like from actually frankly like my ability to build muscle and stay in shape is much more natural and easy from this place than it was from a place of force. And then also like all the other stuff we talked about. So it's like, yeah, it's interesting how this all like ties into how we talk to ourselves, which is why I love that like you don't need to do the strength training workout if you don't enjoy it and it doesn't feel good. Cause like I don't even think our bodies react to things that don't feel good. It's like our body's telling us it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also feel like you can have a Rolodex of, like, different movements that feel good to you, whether it's Pilates or yoga or strength training or walking, and ebb in and out of them. Like, for example, last week, I was, like, way more into strength training. This week, like, all I wanna do is, like, walk and, like, use band like, Melissa Wood Health type band workouts, like, easier stuff. I'm also in my luteal phase. I also haven't
I was
slept
about
that
to,
What?
I was gonna say, aren't you in your luteal phase? Like I feel like that also is a huge thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I think where people get into trouble too is it's all or nothing. It's like, I do strength training, I go to this fitness studio, and it's like the only thing that you do. Where I think the best way to stay just in shape long term is to have like a long list of things that you like and pull from it. But I will say there is a difference between, like, for example, today, I'm really tired. I'm in my luteal phase. I haven't slept for 2 nights. I could easily just, like, not do anything today. I'm definitely not in the position to go strength training, nor do I even have time to do that today. But I could easily do nothing. And I think I know that I don't want to do anything, but what would make me feel better is to get a few weights, do like a yoga, Pilates flow, 30 minutes, planks, push ups, some arms, whatever. I know that will feel better. So I think that there's always a difference too between like forcing yourself to go do something that actually really would not feel good on your body and doing what would feel good, even if you don't want to and it's uncomfortable. And it's that distinction that's really important to make.
Yes. Well, what you just said though is you like I think there's a difference between motivating yourself to do something that you don't want to do and doing something that doesn't feel good, to your point. Like, I didn't want to go on a walk on Sunday night. I was tired. I wanted to just lay in bed, but I was laying in bed and I was feeling really bad. And having the awareness to know that something that will shift me from point A state into point B state and motivating myself to just put on the clothes, get out the door, take that first step, that is not easy. And if we listen to ourselves, if we never did anything that was like hard to be motivated to do, then we would be in a really bad position, right? Like we have to do things, we have to push ourselves to do things, especially when we're not feeling motivated. But when that's a thing that feels good and makes you feel better, that's the great thing. But if I had forced myself to like go on a long run, that wouldn't, my body would have not responded well to that. I wouldn't have liked that. I wouldn't have enjoyed it. And that would have come from a place of force rather from like a, you know what it is? It's like, I was talking to my mom about this the other day. She, whenever I'm mean to myself or hard on myself, my mom always was like, don't talk to little Marissa that way. Like, don't talk to my Marissa that way, which is very sweet. Cause she's like, it's your inner child that's saying these things and you need to parent yourself. Like, you need to step aside from that voice and be your own parent. And I think about that a lot because she said that to me for so many years. And what going for a walk is parenting yourself. It's knowing what is best for you in the way a parent would, even though that, you know, as a kid, you don't want to do that thing versus screaming at yourself, treating yourself like shit and being like, you have to do this. You know, it's like it's like parenting from a place of love and knowing what's best rather than from like a place of force.
Yes.
And that's a distinction, I think.
Yeah. Because it's so interesting. Like I see this quote a lot on social media of like, don't follow the mood, follow the plan. And I actually think that the truth lies in the middle of that. Like, I think that you should follow the feeling underneath the mood and what is actually going to make you feel better, even if your mood doesn't want to do that thing. And if the plan needs to adjust a little bit to nurture that core feeling or shift that core feeling, then the plan has to shift a little bit. But I think like I also operated for so many years of like this is also not on working out, but I when I got into the strength training thing like a month ago, I was like, oh, I need to eat like my body weight in protein, whatever. I was trying to hit like 130 grams of protein a day, which is like so difficult. And I realized when I was so obsessed with like, I have to hit 130 grams if I'm going to build muscle, whatever, all I was thinking about was food. I was eating when I was not hungry. I was getting in protein in these like weird ways of like I didn't even want like all day I was like orienting like how like trying to maximize for this. And I felt like a huge intuitive shift outside of my body. Like I stopped following my own hunger cues because I was so obsessed with like solving this math equation to like get my body to a different place or build muscle. And I feel the same way about working out and plans. It's like if you walk into the week of like, this is my workout plan for that week, you're not taking into an account, something that happened in your personal life. And maybe like something happened that was really uncomfortable and sad. And like you need yoga to like be with yourself and process it. Or you have a ton of energy, something amazing happened at work, and you really want to go for a run and listen to great music. And that would like boost your endorphins even more. But it's like when we have these plans, whether it's a diet plan or a workout plan, we lose the connection to our intuition. So I feel like what's healthy, like, of course, it's not that I don't eat protein anymore, but I'm not, like, obsessively tracking it. I'm, like, eating it intuitively and, like, trying to make choices for my meals that include it. Same thing with moving. I'm not, like, not moving at all or not strength training at all. I'm just tapping into saying, "Would this actually help me and shift me?" Not do I want to or do I not want to, but would it shift the and nurture the core state that I'm in? And I feel like that quote of, like, "Don't follow the mood, follow the plan." I don't agree with that. I think the truth is, like, in the middle of it.
Yeah, I think it's yeah, in the middle because having a plan, I think if you have like no for me at least for my workouts, building the plan of like this is how I'm going to strength train, how I'm going to structure my workouts, how I'm going to incorporate upper body, lower body, that has actually motivated me in a huge way because I feel like excited to like keep progressing and doing these things and like it feels really good. So I love that plan, but to your point, it's like having grace and understanding that like our bodies don't care what our plan is. They have their own plans. And so like being able to adapt to that and knowing the difference between a mood of just like not feeling super motivated and something that your body doesn't want. But all of this is like really coming down to the core point of our bodies are so intelligent. Like when we let them do their thing and when we listen, things are so aligned and easy. It's like we try to override them. We try to override intuition around food. We try and again, not saying like if your diet is mostly processed and not very good and you create a plan to improve your diet, like that's amazing. I'm not saying there's no place for like a diet plan or a workout plan, but like once you get to a balanced state, your body really knows how to keep itself in balance. And I think the hardest thing that we can do and the best thing that we can do is listen and not be constantly overriding it by forcing ourselves to eat when we're not hungry or forcing ourselves to eat when we're not hungry or just eating when we're not hungry, not eating when we are hungry, going for a run when your body is saying, I'm so depleted, like, please let me rest. All of those things are just coming back to our bodies know best. And when we don't listen to them, unfortunately, too, that's when like the symptoms come in. That's when you start like, if I do a workout that doesn't feel good, like my body will feel that. If I don't sleep well and I do a workout that normally gives me energy, I'll feel exhausted afterwards. So it's like it's not just that it's like good for our bodies, like we'll feel like the negative consequences if we don't.
Totally. Yeah, so I guess that is the takeaway from this episode is ask yourself not what do I feel like doing, but like what is my core state and what would nurture me, even if it's not like, sometimes we're not always in the mood, but we know it would feel good. Like we know it would help help ourselves? Like, what is the intention behind the decision, and follow that. And also get out in nature and go for a walk. Like, literally walking has saved my life 1,000 times over. Like, oh my, what's funny is you always know when I'm like kind of going through something by my step count.
I was gonna say that. I was like, your step count is so high because you've been going through it. I also think that, yeah, to just echo that point, if you are someone who's listening to this who doesn't really move at all, and you're like, this is daunting or whatever, I swear to God, just go for a walk every morning for, I mean, any time that you have, but like I really feel the effects at like the 45-minute mark. If you can do a 45-minute walk every day outside, watch your entire life transform. Like your anxiety, your sleep, your even like how you feed yourself, like your mood throughout the day, your energy levels throughout the day, your general feeling of like optimism and joy and happiness. Like it
Totally.
is it is the biggest antidepressant and anti-anxiety medication we have at our disposal is to walk outside, especially in the morning, but any time is better than no time.
Quite literally, like the number one most powerful thing you can do for your health. Amazing. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
If something in today's conversation resonated with you, take a moment to pause and notice where it's sitting within you.
Living in alignment is not about fixing yourself or becoming someone new. It's about listening, trusting, and slowly coming home to who you already are.
Thank you for spending this time with us and for being part of this community.
If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who might resonate with it too. See you next time.